Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 23 in this pilgrimage through the litany of humility. This one's entitled Loved More Than I. So we make another shift in the prayer today. This is a really short, the next two shifts are really short periods here to wrap up our pilgrimage. So for the next 3 days, we're actually going to focus on the theme of envy, of dealing with the challenge of envy and the remedies for envy in our lives. So envy is a feeling of being discontented or having a resentful longing, both of which are aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities, or luck. So someone has something amazing happen in our life and we experience a sense of discontentment with our own life because of what they have. Or someone else achieves something or gets something or experiences some sort of luck, and then we resent the fact that they have it and we don't. This is envy. As a reminder here, the litany of humility, if unguided through it, if unchecked, can often take us down an unhelpful and sometimes even unhealthy path. And so one of the ways we can get in trouble is if we apply the prayer on general, comprehensive terms instead of utilizing this prayer in specific situations and in specific relationships. So if you think about envy in terms of desire, why do you want the things that you want? Well, do you want to go do that thing? And this is also helpful in terms of discernment. Do you want to go to that school? Do you want to marry this person? Do you want to leave your job? Do you want to take a new job? Is all of that built on the idea that you're just discontented with where you are in life, or you're resentful of the person who has that particular job or who is married or things along those lines? Think about it like this. If you're engaged, one of the great questions to ask yourself is, why am I engaged to this person specifically? Am I engaged to them because I'm just discontented with the single life? Or am I engaged to be married to this person? Am I dating this person because God is specifically calling me to this person? So it's really, really useful to examine your own inner life through the lens of envy and be like, okay, why am I doing this? Is it being driven by a feeling of discontentment or resentment? And where's that coming from? How am I being envious and things like that? So if we apply it in general terms, we can kind of miss the boat. But if we apply it in specific terms, in terms of like a discernment, it can be really helpful. Now, what this next 3 days, including today, what this prayer is really concerned about is actually relationships, not just discernment of opportunities or discernment of your state of life, but also in discernment in terms of relationships. Today's a great example of this. And the prayer is that others be loved more than I. Jesus, grant me the grace to desire it. Maybe in general, you don't really care about who is loved more than you. But if you apply it to a particular person, if you apply it to a particular situation, you might. So let's take a deeper look at the relationships in your life and see what parts within you emerge. So how do you feel when one of your siblings gets all the praise and attention from one or both of your parents and you get none? How do you feel when a coworker in a similar position with a similar track record as you gets the promotion? Gets a promotion maybe you feel like you earned. How do you feel? How do you feel when one of your children needs something, really needs something, and they call your spouse instead of you? How do you feel when you see people living out your dream job or your dream life and you feel stuck exactly where you are? How do you feel when you work yourself to the bone trying to be great at something only to see it come naturally to somebody else? And because of it, they go further than you. I could go on, but I think you pretty much get the point. There's going to be some areas in your life where you're completely comfortable with receiving less praise, less affection, less appreciation, less love than another person. But there may also be another relationship or another occasion where that isn't the case. Maybe you feel less loved by a parent or by a boss or by a child or by a spouse or by God. And that feeling of being less than is compounded by a part of you that maybe wants to come in and be like, and it's unfair. I'm loved less. And in order for me to handle the fact that I feel like I'm loved less, I need to justify it by saying it's unfair. That rich cocktail is when envy emerges. And the first step, as this prayer talks through in remedying envy, is desire. It's to want to rejoice in the goodness of other people. Too often we take this prayer to mean that the path to holiness is a total degradation of self, as if it's healthy to look at yourself and say, of course I didn't get the job. Of course my kid loves my spouse more. Or of course God didn't give me the talent he gave someone else. I'm obviously a terrible, no good, rotten, awful piece of you know what. That's a defense mechanism. That's not truth. That's a defense mechanism. The holy person fights and prays for the day to arrive when they aren't thinking about themselves at all. They can simply delight in the goodness given to another person. When the holy men and women, the giants of our Catholic faith, when they talk about themselves in negative terms, they're always looking to remind themselves that God is God and they're not God. It has nothing to do with being in relationship with other people. Being in relationship with other people and putting yourself down often is a recipe for envy, or to just distract yourself from actually feeling the emotions that you're feeling, from actually healing and inviting God into the most intimate places of your life. So that's why we pray today in particular that others be loved more than I. Jesus, grant me the grace to desire it.